Oh.
It's a lot better. It's a lot better quality. So always as a kid. Exactly. Exactly. So I'm excited. And it's still a little. Say exactly. It was spoken answers. It was like it was a week before it happened. He was. He's just. I was like, how he does the top on social.
Give him a side note.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we know Sunday.
Pictures back.
Huh?
Pictures back.
From the party?
Yeah, well, that's it.
I think he's talking about that one so hard for I think it's cable. In fact, they were talking about that yesterday.
Right.
That's so out of my hands. I'm like, I have no idea. That is something
You're
I
like,
cannot
for
worry
the
about.
like, sure.
You know, like, what?
Vista did those professional pictures, so I just didn't know other people were getting the background.
Send them to the front desk. So shortly.
One day, getting a couple off the bat, open houses, getting about 8 to 10 groups of people in the house. So, yeah, so one of the house, 3 miles.
Good morning.
Yeah. Go out towards maybe and you were yeah, and it's continuously. Actually, it's already sold. That's still using it for Legion. How are you doing? Yeah. Well, I did originally. Now I just yeah, that's still in so
Sorry, I'm all spread out here.
So I'm like, Andy's out. Get them out of my office. Sure. Great articles all the time. Hey guys, 1 minute warning. This is KW's magazines, guys. It's called Out Front. There's also a digital version of this magazine, outfront.kw.com. We have plenty of copies here, so take one. The articles are always really, really great, and you can get the same material online as well. Outfront. All right, everyone. We are going to get started because you know I like to start on time. Apparently the screen's being recorded and I'm being recorded. I don't know how I feel about that. But we're just gonna go with it this morning. Okay, let me turn off this music first. Okay guys, so a couple things today. First and foremost, if you are newer to KW and or if you are seasoned and experienced, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your agent site has been set up. How many of you all have had your agent site set up? Okay, 50% of the room. All right. So first things first on that is over here on the far left. Remember that when we think about command, we want to make sure that we're thinking about command like it is the iOS system. When you look at your telephone, you have the iOS system on your phone, you have an iPhone, and then you have different applications on the phone. Same thing with Android, Google Play or whatever it's called, referred to. I'm not a Google or an Android person. So same concept, that is the platform. And I want you to think about that like that's like command. Command is essentially the iOS, and then you have these applets over here on the left, okay? So that said, as it relates to your agent website, you want to make sure first and foremost, because I'm going to talk about that today and why that's important, is that you get your site set up appropriately, number one, okay? So when you click this little app on the left-hand side, it's going to say Sites at the bottom, and you're going to go right here to, this is your agent site pages or landing pages, whichever one. But basically, you're going to create the new site, and then it'll walk you through that process, okay? It's very simple. It's very easy to use, extraordinarily user-friendly, all right? At the end of the class today, just like in the email that I sent you all, there are a tremendous number of resources online for you to figure out all of this stuff sort of behind the scenes. There's how-to videos on KW Connect. There's Lori Ballin is a huge what we like to call a celebrity, okay? She always posts different videos, tutorial videos. Same thing with Jace or Matt. He's a tech trainer down south. We got Nick Baldwin, who was here earlier this week. There is a lot of Keller Williams agents who post tutorial videos that will simply allow you to walk through in your own time. But first things first, sites, you want to make sure that you're setting up your website. The reason why this is so important is because it is fully integrated into Command. Okay, that's what. Can somebody tell me why that's important?
Because the leads come in automatically.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I'm scrolling through Facebook, and some of you have probably gotten screenshot messages from me, right? You've got something posted to Zillow. You've got something linked to the Pensacola MLS. You've got something linked to Trulia. And every time someone clicks on Trulia or Zillow or any of those third-party sites, those leads are not going to come to you, right? It's going to essentially go to whoever was the premier agent in that zip code. The reason that you want to use your own personal site is because everything is fully integrated into Command, and that's going to be one of the things that we talk about today. So when you're clicking on your website, whether it's just a property link, whether it's something that you've created a landing page around, and or a number of other instances, all of those leads, whether they come through a Facebook form, are always going to pour back to you. That's the beauty of creating what we've now done in our industry, which is an end-to-end platform. That platform is going to be completed essentially in the next 3 weeks when your updated consumer mobile app comes out that is personalized back to you. Always keep in mind, guys, that you are on the front end of this technology. This is like the first iteration of the iPhone 4, okay? So there are going to be bugs. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be challenges. I want you to keep in mind that Keller Williams Realty International wants to hear from you, okay? Every person at this company, and I cannot say this enough, you are a stakeholder in this company. So if you do not like the way that a page looks, if you think that the functionality could be different, that it could be improved, you have two sources, support@kw.com, ideas.kw.com. If you go to ideas.kw.com, I'm just going to show you this really quickly. This is where you can input all of your ideas as it relates to Command. You have essentially 400 data scientists and software engineers around the globe, basically at this point, and most of them are in Austin at headquarters. They essentially look at all these ideas. You vote. Whatever is at the top of the list gets built next. Gary has made it very clear that, again, with this being an agent-centric company, this is not built on technology. It's not something just being delivered to you in its static form and never gets improved. You'll constantly know if you're using Command, there are updates daily. In fact, last night I was doing a different Facebook ad, and I'm going to show you today. Now there's been another update, which is a good thing because we are hearing from you, and the software engineers and the tech folks are changing it because you're the folks who sell real estate. They don't, Okay, so that's very important. Okay, so back over here, the next most important thing you need to do before we get into the meat of this topic today is we need to make sure that you have all of your social media channels connected. Okay, if you haven't done this already, many of you probably have, but as you scroll down the page, you're going to see this is related to connected apps. You need to make sure that you have Facebook connected, okay, for post scheduling. As you continue to scroll down, you'll see down here under social, I've elected to have Twitter linked right now, or actually mine is not connected because I don't do Twitter. Sorry about that. I connected it, then I unconnected it. Who uses Twitter anymore except the president and 10 other people? Okay. You have marketing, and that's not to be slight, I'm just saying he does. Okay. Okay. Marketing automation, Facebook ads manager. You need to make sure that those accounts have been connected. All right. Very important. And then, of course, you have other email services and third-party applications that you can connect as long as it matches your business. And that's another beauty of Command. You get to decide what you like to connect.
There's not a way to connect Instagram, is there?
There is.
There is.
You can do social. You can do your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of that. And I think because Facebook now owns Instagram, that's why you don't actually see it here because it's automatically
Because I was
linked.
trying to find Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, I'll show you the button when we get to the Facebook ads. Okay, so is everybody clear on what to do first?
Tell me again where to get to that screen.
This is right here under settings. Click your picture and then go to settings. And it's going to pull up this entire screen. This left-hand side, it may or may not look different for you depending on whether or not you have a team or a group, okay? There are team settings, routing rules, all of that stuff's currently in development right now. So I wouldn't really change or play with a lot of this because a lot of this stuff is still being worked on. So if you have it, you can look at it. If you don't, just don't worry about it for now, okay? But I would encourage you to maybe just explore it nonetheless. Okay, so today, what I want to cover, and this is, I want to cover Facebook and Instagram ads and the smart plan we're going to pause on because I think that they're making some adjustments to that right now. But oftentimes I hear from agents, okay, well, Preston, I'd like to do a Facebook ad, but I don't necessarily have any listings, okay? So not only do we want to discuss how to post listings today, but I also want to dive a little deeper into some different tactics that you can use if you don't have any listings, okay? Especially if you're a newer agent or you're a brilliant, awesome agent, you've just sold all your stuff like, hotcakes, and you need to get some more. And then I want to also talk about that as it relates to the Designs app. So we're going to be looking at designs, and we're going to also be looking at campaigns. All right? So first and foremost, again, you're going to want to start over here on the left-hand side. Many of you have explored this already, but if you haven't, we're going to talk about campaigns. And so you just want to click Campaigns. One of the most important things you can do sort of right off the bat is it's going to bring you to your paid ads section right now, because that's what we're going to discuss today. And so you'll see here at the top, whatever you do inside of this, just really make sure that you start to explore the screens and what they can do. Press the buttons. You're not going to break anything. You're not going to set off a nuclear bomb. Really just get familiar with the buttons on every screen, okay? So you'll see here at the top, it's just different tabs like paid ads. These are going to be emails that we will explore in the future, direct mail, and social post. Essentially what social post is that you can basically link all of your social media channels and you can schedule posts to go out from one screen. So if you want to post something on Instagram, if you want to post something on Facebook, you want to schedule all of those things to happen, you can do that straight from this particular tab right here. You can see all the stuff that's live and scheduled, things that you've drafted. Okay, you get the point. So, but right today, we're going to talk about the paid ad section. In addition to your sites, in addition to attaching and linking up your social media channels, you need to also make sure that you have added your payments. Okay, so if you're running a business, I would suggest that you link a business credit card of sorts so that you can track that. You can track your return on investment, and you can enter that in your QuickBooks under advertising, lead generation. So make sure that you have attached your payments, your payment method rather. Okay. The other real important thing right here is just to, again, get familiar. you can see right here in the last 30 days, I can change this to the last 7 days. I can change this to the last 30 days. I can look at lifetime. The idea here is to understand not only how well your ads are doing, but also how much money you're spending and essentially how many leads you're getting. So you can begin to track and understand that. Now, as you start to play with things, there are going to be some ads that you run, and I can tell you right now, if you're, well, let me just give you an example. Okay, this one just started in this morning. I'm running this one in Atlanta. That's for $1 million condo that we have on Perdido Key. But Wheeler Way, I'm down to 63 cents a lead on this particular property. This one on Breckenridge is about $1.04. This is a $300,000 property. This one's probably $140. And I'm also beginning to test things on Keller Mortgage. That one's running me about $1.19. And then I've got some right here. This is just a generic ad that's getting me about 63, $1.14. That one's getting nothing. I've got no leads off of that. I'm just testing it. I've obviously done something that people don't like, okay? And this one's getting is around $2.19. I would suggest that with my experience thus far, Andy's done this a lot, so maybe Andy can add some context to this, is that properties that are very much in our average price point locally, homes that you understand and you know that are likely going to sell very fast, generally speaking, the cost per click on those is very, very low. The more luxury the property is, the more unique the scenario is, it's going to drive the cost per click up. That's been my experience so far. Over time, maybe it's possible, and I would say that most likely is that Keller Williams, all of this data is pouring into the platform. So the better that we all get at advertising luxury properties and more unique properties, that data will obviously be pulled together, which will then give the artificial intelligence a better opportunity to place that ad in front of the right people, okay? But a lot of this stuff, a lot of the more affordable stuff is getting placed very strategically and at a much lower cost per click. I don't know anybody on Zillow that's getting 63 cents per lead, okay? All right, and this is the beauty of this. Okay, so you got an idea here. Real quickly, you can see all of the active stuff you have, anything that you have in draft, anything that you've ran in the past, and anything that you've archived, or you can see them all. Again, just play with them. Once you start to post a lot of ads, you may be searching for a campaign, okay, that you maybe ran several months back. The reason why that would be important, if you will, is because if you find an ad that's pretty generic that you want to run essentially the same exact thing, you could just duplicate that campaign instead of having to do it over and over and over again. Does that make sense? Duplicate the campaign, change out the pictures, change the address, and there you go. Again, you can do that in 5 minutes or less. Okay, so that's kind of the purpose in terms of thinking hypothetically about the system. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's just going to walk through this idea of creating a new campaign, and I want to do this around just a new listing that my team has, all right? So when you click, first off, create a new campaign here in the top, and then we're going to go to a social ad. Now notice that you have several different options here. Social ad would be what you want to run on Facebook or Instagram. Google would be if you want to test and start to run ads on Google. You can certainly just create a social post that does not have any ad spend to it. You can set up a direct mail campaign through Real Mailers. And you can also do an email if you have MailChimp and some of the other third-party services linked to your command. Those will be things that we discuss in the future. So right now, let's just look at a social ad. Now, do you see it on here at the bottom? Okay. So enter a campaign name. Essentially what we're doing here is, what was the address of the one I wanted to do today? 5901 East Shore. Okay, so for me, I'm just going to call this 5901 East Shore. Now, you can call this in your business anything that you want to call it. For me, I just name it the property address. That's easy for me. With your team, if you're an individual agent, create whatever system it is that's most effective for you. What is your goal? Now, if you just I was going to say if you hover over those, they'll usually tell you, but it may be because we don't have Java on this computer. I'm not sure.
You have to click it now.
You have to click it now?
It tells you at the bottom.
Okay. So when you click these, this is really important, folks, to understand what you're clicking. It gives you multiple options here. Advertising a listing, advertise multiple listings, attract talent, brand awareness. If you're having an event, attract buyers or anything that's other. Like Andy mentioned, if you clicked it, it's going to give you an idea of what this particular campaign is designed to do. So obviously advertise a listing, that's pretty self-explanatory. Promote a listing and find potential buyers. The reason you're going to see some people online say it really doesn't matter what you pick, I beg to differ with that a little bit because, again, you have to remember that all of the data is pouring back into Keller Williams and particularly into the artificial intelligence. So if you're really trying to advertise a listing and you click down here, attract talent, it's going to skew the data between what worked the best and what had the best functionality. Does that make sense? So in my mind, be sure that you're clicking the right things. I have, in my personal case, I have tested, so to speak, advertising a listing but putting it to attract buyers, and it did not work out as well in terms of the cost per click. Does that make sense? So anytime that I'm advertising a listing, I'm clicking advertising a listing. All right, I didn't, because you can click on here, find buyers who are looking for agents to help them purchase a home, and it looks like they've updated that. So maybe that's one that I should have clicked when I was posting Keller Mortgage and I didn't. Okay, so maybe that's really what I should have done. Okay, but self-explanatory, we're going to advertise this listing. Now, where will your campaign run? I tested one last night on Instagram, or I posted it, and it made me split the cost associated with my budget between the two items. And also, in my own personal mind, I'm not sure how many leads we're getting off of Instagram right now. So again, that's going to be something that you have to test. The bulk of our leads, I would say 99.9% of them have been coming through Facebook. So I'm putting all of mine on Facebook. All right, so set up campaign.
Have they gotten it where you can adjust the split yet, like you can on Facebook?
I tried last night, it wouldn't let me.
Okay.
Okay, but that's coming.
Like if you click both, can you put like $28 on Facebook and $2?
So it has to be at least $1. You have to have enough money. I'll show you when we get there, but basically you have to have enough money in the campaign to be spending at least $1 on each, and it also wouldn't let me adjust it up or down because I think it's just a feature that's coming. Okay. All right. So when the next step is obviously pulling in all of the property details and the photos. This is a huge benefit to us because if you've ever ran an ad on actually just on Facebook, this process is so difficult. It's not user-friendly at all. So the fact that this is right here is brilliant. Now, I don't exist, okay? So everything exists in Diane's world. I'm just a nobody. So I've got to go search for my stuff, all right? So if you don't have any listings right now, no big deal. If you get permission to maybe advertise someone else's listing, you can do that because this is all linked to one platform. So it's only my listings. Well, I don't have any listings, okay? So I have to click all listings, and then I just type in the address, 5901, what was it? East Shore, Pensacola. Okay, voila. So here's the property right here. It's going to say par. And by the way, if you are linked to the Navarre Area Board of Realtors, or if you have access to all that, you'll see multiple different properties. This one's going to say par. The next one's going to say e-car. Okay. Remember, you have access now to every listing throughout the United States. That's amazing. Okay, can I get a woohoo for that? Okay, I need a woohoo. All right, so I'm just going to select this property, and it is going to begin to pull, just give me a hypothetical view of this, okay? Now, a couple things have changed with this. As we go down, I'll show you, but what I want you to see first off is that it's going to pull in any pictures, and I'll show you that, but I also want you to pay attention to it's now automatically adding our DBA name. So a little later, when I show you about creating a thumbnail picture through designs or what have you, be careful that you don't necessarily have to add the logo in designs because it's going to automatically add it here. And if you add one that has a logo and it automatically places it, it makes it look funky. Okay, so that's something I learned last night. Again, this is changing daily because we need to make sure that we protect everybody's liability. Okay, now, first things first, I kind of want you to see, let me back up here. Do you see these the greens and the triangle? Okay, if you have a red triangle, it means that you have not done something correctly. So if you're beginning to press submit and it's like it won't let it go through, you have to go back up and make sure that you have filled all of the stuff out appropriately. So it's very user-friendly in that way. Other real quick thing is to make sure that you notice both the web feed and the mobile feed. This to me is important, and it's not intuitive. You wouldn't necessarily know this, but I think it's important as you get more experience. You want to pay attention, in my opinion, more to what the way that the ad's going to look mobily.
Yep.
Is that's even a word? Mobily? Okay. Rather than on the web. We already know through the research that an overwhelming number of people are mostly using what it's going to either be their phone or their tablet. Okay. So it defaults to the web feed, but I would tell you to make sure that you're really looking at, change it to look at the mobile view of this, okay? Because if it doesn't look pretty here, or you've got all this fantastic ad text, it's not going to show up, and it's not going to be the biggest bang for your buck, okay? So, that said, the beauty of this is, as you can see, the main copy is going to pull right from your MLS description that you have input. While that's amazing, and that's nice, it's going to stop it when you get to roughly 250 characters. You don't need that many characters. And frankly, I would say don't use that many characters, okay? Everything that you change here is going to show up automatically over here. So I don't know, no idea what this property is. Okay, you will love sunsets from the backyard of this adorable home situated on Crescent Lake.
Yeah, it's a little house that has a lake view on the back.
Okay.
It's really cute.
All right, so you see here I just edited the text. Now you can write your own text. Okay, if you don't like the text, just delete the description and say beautiful 3-bedroom waterfront home. Do that if you'd like to. And you're going to see that as soon as you do that, it all shows up on the mobile version over here. Another thing, really quickly, we all love emojis, and we also know through research that ads with emojis get more engagement. I won't say more leads, more engagement, so to speak, more impressions. So the beauty of this is that you can just click on this little button right here at the bottom, and you can do all the emojis that you want, okay? Also, don't try to scroll. Just type in what you want. Trophy, okay? And just click it, and it's going to show up there. Now, 3 weeks ago, this was all going great with Facebook, okay? If you see an ad starting like this week, over the past couple of days, Command does not have a problem. So if you see your ad on Facebook and there's like one of those weird like upside down,
It's a question mark.
it's a question mark. For some reason, Facebook's having an issue right now with emojis.
It looks like we got to clear it up. Because I ran the same ad yesterday with a bunch of
Okay,
emojis.
and then I rode around yesterday and I saw it this morning, there was a problem. So that is not a Command problem, that is a Facebook problem right now. Okay, so use the emojis if you want to, but just understand if it gets posted and it goes through, it might look a little funky because I posted something, I was trying to be clever and do like 4 bedrooms and I used the actual emoji 4 instead of the number 4. Now it's like question mark bedrooms. I'm like, oh, I look like awesome. Like, I look amazing.
Just take a guess at how many bedrooms.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good tactic. How many bedrooms? Okay, now, everything that has an asterisk, you have to put in. So enter a headline, all right? So the headline is, as you're going to see down here, it's going to go right here. So this one I may just say, beautiful waterfront home. As you can see, it's going to update itself right over here. Beauty. Now, here's the description. That's going to go right here. They have a million different descriptions already put in here for you. If you don't like, if y'all want to use this one, you could be coming home to this. Great, it's there. If I don't like it, I could write something else. You could, you saw the little shuffle button. You can shuffle the different ones. They've already have them written out for you, and that's awesome. Okay. You again notice 100 characters, 250 characters. Real easy. You just go to the next area. This is where the DBA logo has already been uploaded for you if you put it in your marketing profile. Okay? Now, you need to include the ownership statement. If you know from the style guide, it says each office is independently owned and operated. It's going to put it on your picture right down here at the bottom, and it's going to automatically include the logo. If you don't like this logo, here's the beauty of this. You need to have the KW Gulf Coast logo on there, but remember there are several different versions. There's an all-white version. There is a version that has the red with the gray letters that has a transparent background. There is an all-black one. You still have to use the correct DBA logo, but there are multiple versions of it. If you don't have the right version, get with Taylor. He can send you all of the different versions that we have, okay? And at that point, you can just keep them on your Google Drive and upload them appropriately to match so that it looks the best it possibly can. Make sense? Okay. Now, Facebook ad. This is where it gets good. This is where we start to warm things up a bit. Now, you have to select the page that you're managing. If you have linked your social media, I mean, you might have 25 different pages linked to your social media account, like Puppies and Paws or something, and you might be dealing with a number of different organizations. So just click the one that you intend for it to go to. Make sure that you pay attention to that because you could end up with your home ad on some other page that you manage. So and you can see here that it's changed. Now, you have two different options related to how you are going to essentially generate leads. Let's walk through this a bit. You have the use Facebook lead generation form. That's the one that I would recommend. Don't pay attention to me. Just test what you would like to test. And you also have a use site or landing page. Okay, so real quick, let me just navigate to my own website. Okay. Okay. Let me show you the difference. If you see an ad on Facebook and you have selected use Facebook lead generation form, as soon as someone clicks the learn more button down here, it's going to pop up with a lead generation form, and because the world has all of our cookies and all of our data and all of our stuff, it's going to automatically populate that customer's name, phone number, email address, things like that. Okay, it's going to automatically populate that for them. That information is going to automatically pour back into your command under the leads section. I would recommend that you do that because then you've now captured them. Because the moment that someone has to input their information, you all know it, you all do it too, you go to some website, it asks you for your information, like, ugh, I'm not doing that, I'll move on. Okay? Because we're a fast-paced society. We get annoyed quickly. Okay? So Facebook knows you. They know everything about you. So if you use the lead generation form, they don't have to input anything. It's just automatically populated on the form. They click through, they go to the website, and voila, they get to see all of the details. Okay, real quick, Anna.
Can you create a lead generation form through command? We have to go.
It automatically, it just populates it for you. Facebook does this for you. Okay.
It asks the specific things the command wants.
Yes.
Phone number, email address, and name.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if you use a site, you could click off of this and just say use a site or landing page. Okay. And when you click learn more, you're just gonna, you have navigated to this home on your website. So when up here at the top, you would have essentially just copy this website because this is a direct link to this property, and you would post it right there. Okay? You could do this. Make sure it automatically comes with HTTPS, so make sure that you don't do that. So when you post it, because you just want to erase that. Okay? You could do this. Remember though that someone's just on your website until they ask a question or click through several things, it's not going to have them register because unlike a lot of people that you've seen post on their stuff, people want access to the information. There's a million different websites on the planet where they can get the information. So if you ask them to register immediately right off the bat, they're off. They're going to go to Zillow because they can get it for free there. Make sense? So in my opinion, just my opinion, I would suggest that you just use the Facebook lead generation form. They click through, then they would automatically be taken to your website. Now, that's a huge value proposition because on your website, Again, not only can they see all the pictures, not only can they see the basic details, they also have access to Keller Mortgage, Keller Covered. You don't even know about that. I'll tell you later. Save, ask me questions, all the home facts, all of the details about that particular neighborhood specific, unlike anything on the planet right now. All of the stuff about what locals say, well, this is Crescent Lake, there's not a lot of stuff going on there. Walkability factor, you can search for a place to get, in the moment that they click something that's very specific, it's going to ask them to register, okay? But for all intents and purposes, you've got all of the school zone information, ratings, you also have student to teacher ratios, all of the things that your customers ask you for that you normally have to direct them to a third-party site can now be delivered right on your website, unlike anything in the industry.
Can
Okay.
we adjust this is one thing, because Facebook, when we run a campaign, it's gonna auto-populate the information already, they're gonna give us the information. When they come here, is there a way to set these websites to non-aggressive so it doesn't ask them for the information again?
I have not seen that yet.
Okay,
You'll see that in the agent sites.
okay,
There are several out there that you can put like no login, no registration, super aggressive, or like non-aggressive at all. Okay, I have not seen that yet. I think for all intents and purposes, like they can click through like several of these photos, and it doesn't ask them. There's a lot of websites where they'll, as soon as they click through the photos, it does it. On yours, it's not that aggressive. Okay.
I just don't want them having to enter information twice and then going screw it.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I ask
Yes.
if they do enter the information?
Goes
twice,
right back to you.
Are you gonna have duplicates at the same?
No, chances
contact?
are, because I already have that experience with like appointments, people that call and want an interview, or new agents or what have you. When they go on my Calendly link and they register that way, it automatically puts them in my command. But if I already had them, because I already knew who they were, someone gave me the referral, it won't put it twice.
Because you
Okay.
can't duplicate contacts.
Yeah, you can't duplicate the contact. Okay, so point is, my personal opinion is that you want to use the Facebook lead generation form because it's going to ask them first, and then you're going to get their information right off the bat. Now, the same thing applies. You just go down. Remember, you're just following the sheet. Very user-friendly. Follow-up destination URL. Basically, what do you want them to see? What you want them to see is the website. You've navigated to this particular property on your own personal website. Same thing applies. Copy the link, post it right there. Remember to take out the double HTTPS.
So,
You could actually, go ahead.
so even if you have the, use the lead generation code, you can still have the website and have them.
Oh, well, yeah, because that's two different concepts. This is just capturing their information. This is giving them the site for free. Meaning they're going to click on this. It's going to capture their information. Then they're clicking on learn more because they want to learn more. So that you've got to take them to the website. Make sense?
Yeah, but basically what it does, you hit learn more, it populates their information, and it has OK at the bottom. You hit OK, and then it takes them to the site.
Okay.
Now, I have a question. Would you be able to, for specific properties that you're doing, instead of sending them to your website, make a, what is it called, a landing page that has the site information on it?
You can do landing pages. But we don't have enough time to talk about that today. Let me tell you why I don't personally like landing pages right now. It's because they're not as super mobile friendly just yet.
Okay.
Okay? Because when you if your logo is too wide, or if your personal logo is too tall, that's something that they're working on, and you can look at them mobile friendly, but when they actually show up, it's kind of overlap. And frankly, it actually takes more time to do that, and you don't really need to do that. I mean, basically, you want them, because if they just go to that landing page, that's all they're seeing. Yet if they go to your website, which is already super mobile friendly, they can see everything, and they might, in fact, want to ask you a question. They might, in fact, want to navigate to another property. They might, in fact, want to see another open house. They might get really attuned to the student-teacher ratios. They might absolutely want to calculate their transit. If you just send them to a landing page, it's a static page, that's it. Okay? I don't personally see the point of sending them to a landing page. That's just my own personal opinion.
When you copied that address, email address from the website, it was on like the bedroom picture. Is that what's going to show up?
No.
Even though it has
So
a
watch
great
here.
email?
If I click right here, it's the same URL no matter what.
But the first picture they see.
It will show the moment that they go to it, it's going to be the front picture.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to be concerned about that. Now, ad targeting. So right now, it's pulling the location based off of where the property was. And so it automatically put right here, Pensacola, Florida, and it said 20 miles. If you don't like that, you can change it. Okay, so for example, use custom settings. This is where they changed this last night. Okay, so you have multiple options. You can target your database. And now you can just target your database. You can target a custom audience, or you can just do a custom audience. Before last week, or actually like 2 days ago, you couldn't do that. Let me tell you the beauty of this. Okay, so for example, well, let's just read it. This will upload a custom list to Facebook. You are able to target based on tags, neighborhoods associated, or both. The minimum audience is 100. Okay, so for example, let's just say that, let's just go with, this was a nature trail home. Okay, let's just go with that thought. And you had 100 people in that neighborhood tagged as nature trail. Okay, or you had 100 people in your database that had nature trail as their neighborhood. All right, if you created a custom audience, target by neighborhoods, I'm just going to call this nature trail. And I'm going to go down here to add neighborhoods to include. Nature Trail Pensacola pops up right there, and you can create that. So now not only can you target a custom audience around, Pensacola within 20 miles, but you can also make sure that everybody in your specific database who lives in Nature Trail also has that ad placed in front of them on Facebook. Isn't that like wild? Okay.
Won't that also work as if somebody's looking to live in that specific neighborhood, they're going to get all the information?
If they have that neighborhood on their neighborhood nurture, make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for example, inside of your database, you can create. Well, you should be doing this, right? So bi-weekly neighborhood nurtures, which means that if I live in Aragon, I'm going to put Preston Murphy on his Aragon neighborhood so that he bi-weekly gets an automatic neighborhood nurture from me. The system takes care of that, and I am attached to Aragon, okay? So, but if I had Aragon and I had Nature Trail, it's going to include me in this list. Remember here, though, it says that you have to have a minimum audience as 100 contacts right now. So now, if you wanted to, let's see here, create a new audience, target by tags. Now, this is the cool part, too. You could say my Pace Florida list, okay? And if you had tagged everybody, if you had tagged all the contacts in your database, regardless of their neighborhood that lived in Pace, Florida, if you had tagged them as Pace, Florida, it would then also put that ad in front of them on Facebook. Does that make sense?
Is it only if you have their Facebook page, like
Yes.
saved in your?
So this is the brilliance and the importance also of making sure that you have as much information about that contact that's in your contacts. So beyond just their name, beyond their phone number, beyond their email address and their neighborhood, you also, when you scroll down on the contact form, it asks, what's their Facebook page, okay? You basically just go to Facebook, you copy that link that's on their page, and you add it to it, okay?
So it won't cross-reference based on the email that Facebook provides?
It may do that too,
Okay.
okay? So that, but here's the thing, there's a lot of people that have multiple different email addresses, and so it may not be, might not be the one that they have registered with
Well,
Facebook.
that's what I'm saying. If you get leads from a Facebook ad
Mhm.
that come in with a populated email address,
Mhm.
then you have that email address in your
Sure.
leads, so it should
Yeah, because you could actually just untarget, and you could just do target your entire database.
exactly.
And you could do that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So in most cases, what I've been recently doing, until I just learned about that last night because they made a change, is you're just deciding where you want to go. Okay, so for example, even though this was a Pensacola, Florida home, let's just say I wanted to put it in Molino. Okay. Molino, Florida, and I could go out, I think I can go down to 15. You can go down to 15 and you can go up to 50. Okay, so I could change this to 50 and it's going to place it in the middle of Molino and it's going to go 50 miles out from there, which would obviously include Pensacola. Same thing with Pensacola. I mean, I think for the bulk of us, it's going to be Pensacola, Pace, Gulf Breeze, places like that. Make sure you choose the right one, not Pensacola, Oklahoma. Okay.
When you do your Atlanta ad or whatever, you just put, what do you do for
Yeah, so, with like the Perdido Key ad for that last night, I put it in the center of Atlanta. Actually, what I did was Buckhead because I know Atlanta and I know where the rich folks live. Okay. And I put it in Buckhead, Georgia. $1 million property, I'm going to put it there. Tuxedo Park, I should have done it there. It's another place. At this moment, you cannot add multiple different locations right now. That is obviously something that's going to come because you can do that inside of Facebook right now. And that will certainly come in the future. Okay, but for right now, let's just go with people in Buckhead don't care about Crescent Lake. So let's go back to. Okay, now this is where you can do more expert targeting. Okay, based on the fair housing laws, you all know from Facebook that they've removed a lot of the interest that you can choose. Okay, so we make sure that we don't discriminate and exclude people. So that said, you've got to sort of think about this hypothetically. There is no right way. Okay, you can have as many or as few interests as you possibly can. Let's say for a second, well, this one's on the waterfront. You can't necessarily boat in this community, but let's just say that it was boating. You might want to try boats if anything pops up there. Okay, apparently they don't like people with boats.
Type in Zelda.
Oh, hold on. Okay, if you type in mortgage, you might want to target people who have looked up mortgage insurance. You might want to target people reverse mortgages. You might want to target people who have looked up mortgage calculators, people who have looked up mortgage broker, mortgage loans, all these different options, all right? If you don't like those, let's do a like mortgage calculator on this one, and maybe I want to do mortgage loans. You could type in Zillow. Okay, you have, I wouldn't choose this one because that's going to be agents, all right? So make sure you type in Zillow. That comes with an audience size of 37 million, and then again, they're going to narrow that down to Pensacola. If it was, let me check text golf real quick. Okay, that's not on there either. Last night I found one that I thought was cool, was vacation rental. Vacation rental. So on the condo, not only did I put it in Buckhead, but I also listed vacation rentals because you can rent it. There's a number of these that you can try. So you try things with mortgage, try things with home, okay? And you want to add these interest, people who've maybe recently looked up home appliances or home repair, home business. So you kind of just have to think about the type of ad that you're running and who's going to be the most likely group associated with that particular home. Okay, and then choose those things.
So does this have the ability to expand your search, or like Facebook, you can say, do it to everybody and also these people, or is this refining my search totally to
You
just
see right here, add or change interest. Right now it's set on or, which means it's only going to pull any of these. But if you want it to be and, it's going to that would require that it do all of them. So that's where you could super narrow. I would suggest you probably not be super narrow with it, because just like when you do it on Facebook directly, sometimes it gets way too narrow, and it's kind of like you see the little like the dial back and forth.
No, but does it just allow you to do everyone and these?
No. These inside of Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering, because Facebook allows you to do these, and it'll promote to these as well.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, because if you did the and those, I mean, you're gonna be targeting this to folks in New Jersey. All right. Now, you can see that all of my things are green so far, so I don't have any problems. And then the duration and the budget. You just go down next. Now, again, you have to have, if you had chosen Facebook and Instagram, it's going to give you a budget and it's going to separate them out between the two. I've only chosen Facebook, so it's only giving me the budget right here. You can see that depending on the day, so I have this until, right now it's projected out until the 10th. Let's just say I wanted to run it to the 7th. if you're doing an open house ad, you may only want it 7 days, from maybe from the Monday to the Saturday that you're actually doing the ad, and you want it to stop the next day. You don't want to spend money on that. So be strategic about the actual days, and then you can adjust the budget from there. Okay, you have to have at least a daily ad spend of at least $1. So right now it says $1.43, but let's just, I can't go under 10, but let's say that I put this all the way back to 14 days. Let's see, save duration and budget. It won't let me do it. At least $1 be allocated per day, and so you just have to go back and you have to either add more money or you have to subtract out the time. This house is probably going to have 2,700 showings today, so I don't want to waste too much money on that. So what's today's date? I'll just put this until the 3rd, okay, till the weekend. So that's going to put $3.33.
Yeah, because I'm gonna sell it on my open house this weekend.
There's probably 27 showings already lined up. Okay. Now, again, this is real. That was simple, right? Like you just go down the list. Now this is an easy one. This is just promoting a new listing, and I'm going to get more detailed in the next section. Remember to look at how it looks here and how it looks here. One thing that I was recently looking at was I just did one of these, was right here on this beautiful waterfront home. Where was it? What did I want to say? I was going to test it with 0 lender fees plus 1,000 back with Keller Mortgage to see how that works. Okay, so you could change any of that stuff however you want it. Real quick also, you have the ability to do video and you have the ability to do images. Okay, so let's just say that you don't want one stock photo. You can add, you can see here it pulls in. You can add your own images if that's what you like to do, but you can also choose from the listing. Remember, it automatically pulls these in so you don't have to upload them. All right, it's the beauty of the platform. So maybe I want to run the kitchen. Maybe I like this picture better. So I'm going to preview and crop it. You have multiple ways that you can do this, because you could essentially do a square, but remember, it's only going to show that section of it. I prefer to have it wide and then adjust it up and down depending on what's in the picture. So if you have like a crazy looking receptacle over there or whatever, you can do it that way. And you can add up to 6. This is the carousel version, and then this is the mobile carousel version. And then if you have an Instagram story, it's going to show it to you like that. Personally, I'm starting to feel like the carousels are not as aesthetically pleasing to the eye on Facebook. That's my personal opinion. I've been testing both ways. It seems to me like I'm getting more clicks on stuff that's static, like just one picture. They either like it or they don't like it. You test that out depending on the property. If you add something that you don't like, delete the image. Let's just say maybe, I think I really like that image, but let's just say maybe people are going to really love this one. So maybe I would just add that too, and then it would be a carousel. So just pick whatever you think is going to be the best. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. So that's real cool there. Now, I'm going to save this really quick because I want to show you how we might be able to make a bigger impact with this picture using designs. Okay, so let's just stop right there, and then that will be the most of from the listings, and then we'll go into some sort of hypothetical things that you could do. So we're going to save this as a draft. Is everybody with me right now? We're all good? Okay.
Now, one question about the pictures. You put 5 up there. Isn't that where it will?
It used to do that. They've
That's
changed.
really
They're
wrong.
testing it with the carousel. Before, you could add 5 or 6 pictures. The artificial intelligence would remove the ones that were not performing well and then just add back the one that was doing the best. Essentially, what it would do would be creating like multiple ads. Okay. Now they're doing this carousel thing. I think they're just kind of testing what works in the environment, is my understanding.
Need to add those.
Okay.
Preston, I'm sorry to ask. It says create a new listing, but I can't seem to get it to say create a new listing. So where do I have to quickly go to get that to say that at the top of my screen? Or new
Create a new
campaign?
campaign. Do you have your payment set up? Don't know. That's
Okay,
probably a
it's
support.
fine.
Okay, I'll look at
I
that.
can't get to that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Actually, it could be
iPad.
iPad. I think it's because of lack of flash. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, let's go to designs really quickly because right now you're just pulling in the pictures from the MLS directly. But remember, guys, that you can actually create more impactful pictures on the front end just using the designs templates that are automatically uploaded for you in Command. Wait, that's not what I want. Where do I? Yeah, designs.
I should have said put names under those.
You might need to.
Y'all are dragging my broadband down. Yeah. I'm just gonna. I might just use my own hotspot. We might just come back to this because the designs takes a lot of energy.
You might have to click it again too, because you know how Command works.
Yeah.
So it's funny yesterday, guys. Remember that every time Command is down, it doesn't necessarily mean it's because of Command. Yesterday, people were having problems for like an hour. It was Google's servers were down. Okay. So remember that don't get in the habit of every time Command doesn't work, it's not necessarily Command's fault. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, there's Anita. Welcome, Anita. All right. So first things first, you have all your templates right here. Okay, these are the ones that you see right here. That's the ones that you have already designed yourself. Okay, so at any point in time, you could go back and you could just edit these. No different than saying duplicating an ad that you've already done. Okay, all your stuff is going to be right here. And the more that you click on different ones, it's just going to bring up those. So if you had some emails, if you had some landing pages, social, it's all going to change it right there. So first things first, let's just go down here to this big plus button at the bottom. Okay, this is where you are going to choose create a design. Well, in this particular case, I want to do a social one. Okay, now import photos and text from listing. I don't know why that's there because you can do it on the actual screen itself. Maybe we'll find out later. But let's just click and wait 10 minutes.
When did they add the import your own design?
Recently.
How did it make it like
Yeah, it was a lot. I think I just saw it yesterday too.
Yeah.
You're gonna
That's
see like
awesome.
different things change like every day, and especially here the last 2 or 3 weeks before family reunion, you'll probably see massive changes every single day, which are gonna be cool improvements. Okay, so this stuff I absolutely love. Okay, I'm like a geek about this stuff. All right, so I look at this stuff all the time. Okay, so right here, I see you have agent sites, you have home value stuff, you have just listed, you have just sold. I mean, you got a million different, you got for sale, you got a million different templates that have been built for you that you can use to edit to then upload into your campaign to give you more bang for your buck or more attention, more engagement, so to speak, okay? Because you can upload your own picture, remember? So let's just go to this just listed really quick. So again, you click just listed, it's going to give you multiple options: Facebook, Instagram, Insta Stories, LinkedIn, Twitter. All of these, you don't have to adjust anything. Their size has been edited depending on the platform that you are using, which is awesome because before you have some picture, you have to upload, scrunch this way, crop that way, make sure the pixels are this. You don't have to do that. They've already done it for you, okay? So right here with Facebook, we're just going to use this one, all right? I'm just going to give an example. So I click on it, and this is where this is so fun because I get like lost for hours and I shouldn't with some of this stuff. It's like, oh, I'm going to do that and that, and I'm going to change that. Okay. Here's the KWLS. Okay, KWLS. What was the address? Okay. Search for a listing. So I'm going to type in 5901 East Shore. Oh, I can't type. Shore, Pensacola, Florida. Okay, here's the listing. I'm going to select it. So now I just get to decide what I want the picture to be. If I want to use this one as the background, I might use that one. Maybe I want this. Maybe I want this. Maybe I want this. The brilliance is you get to decide what you want. Okay, and in a matter of a second, you just click it and voila, there it is. Okay, it's already built for you. Remember, do not add the logo on here, the KW logo, because when you upload it, it's going to automatically place that picture on your ad for you. Okay, so I'm just going to go right here, edit the text, 5901, instead of Heather Lane, East Shore, instead of the price. What is it, Andy?
159.
159.9. It's
You
a,
looking at it?
what's the,
Come over to my open
I know
house this
everything
weekend.
about it.
Bring somebody.
2? Is it 2? 19 or 1196. Like 1196. Is that what it was?
One,
1196, and it was built in 1922. What's it?
Terracottas.
What I think it was 1963. You can pull that from the MLS. Okay, let's just. I think it's
You can just
1963.
delete that if you want.
Yeah, you can delete anything you want. You don't have to. Just give it. It's just a template. Okay, so in 4 seconds, guys, literally a minute and a half, I just created a piece that could have much more bigger impact than that other photo. All right. Now, real quick, you have all your logos. Let's say you have your personal logos. Let's say you have different icons. You have different text. You have different images. Okay, if you want to add your picture to it, great. You just click the picture, drag and drop. Okay, do whatever you want. Squunch it down, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna delete that. You don't need to see my face. Okay.
where does it auto-populate the Keller Williams DBA logo in the same place every time?
Yeah, bottom right-hand corner.
On right.
So that one will be placed, that will be a good placement for that. Now, so here's the thing. If you like this, if for all intents and purposes you want to create a system in your business, whether it's you or your assistant, your marketing person, whoever that may be, that always use this every time we list a house, I want this one, I want to upload this one, I just want people to get familiar with it. If you like your picture in a certain spot, basically you can just change this to just listed. I can't listen. It doesn't have to be a specific name. I can't see. Okay, now I'm going to save this really quick. We're going to save it. Now you've just created the template that you can always use forever and ever. Amen. You're just going to simply change the background. So we're right here. You're just going to download it. Download it. Now you get different options. PNG, a JPEG, or a PDF, because if you're doing flyers or things of that nature, you want different options depending on what you are intending to do. So I'm just going to do a JPEG, and I'm going to start a download. All right, you can see it's automatically set to a high quality. And it tells you right here, if you don't know which one to use, this one's ideal for web and the images, ideal for high quality images or transparent backgrounds, and then this one is obviously for document printing if you were doing flyers or postcards, things of that nature. Because remember, even in, which we haven't got to this yet, even in the direct mail campaigns, you can upload your own postcard. If this is the postcard, you like this, if you want this to be your postcard, you change it, edit it, do whatever you want. You can put this as a PDF and then upload it into real mailers, and this is what they would send out as opposed to the templates that they already have built. You have many options that you want. So we're just going to go with this JPEG, and we're going to start the download. It'll download in just a second. Now.
Don't leave it until it downloads. There it is.
All right, so we'll get out of here. We will go back to
Real quick, in the section it has like one that talks about the neighborhood as like a template.
neighborhood snaps.
Yeah. How do you edit that?
Same thing from the KWLS. I'll go back and show you that here at the end, or a different section. But that's really cool. You have to be careful about that data right now. As you all know, all of the active feeds are This is a massive undertaking to basically take an entire company, the largest on the planet, and every single MLS around the country and tie them all together. All of the active feeds have now been updated as of December the 31st, which is why as soon as you now post something to the MLS, it goes to your website in literally like 15 minutes. Okay, it's the fastest feed there is. The solds and the pendings feeds have not been updated. They're like 60% of the way through. Don't quote me on that actual number. I'm just telling you that the actives is now 100% done. The pendings and the contingents and all of that will be pulled and migrated. They're working on that right now. Okay. So let's go back really quickly. Let's just go back over here to campaigns. And so here you're going to see my draft. Everybody's on designs, I can tell. Okay, here's my draft. I'm going to edit the campaign. I've decided that I do not like the media. Okay, so I am going to just simply add more real quick, add an image, and I'm going to drag and drop. Okay. Well, are you going to make me? There you go. Okay. I'm going to preview and I'm going to crop it. I like it. You see how we download the one that's from Facebook. I don't have to do anything to it. I don't have to move it up and down. Don't do that. Just click Save Image. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to delete this one really quick. And that's, in my opinion, much more impactful, is it not? So this is part of the process of today. I didn't want to just show you how to. I want to help you hypothetically think more about how you can connect all of the different applets of command together. So you don't have to just use that picture. You can make an extraordinarily big impact just with changing the picture using the designs, and you have an entire graphic design team at Keller Williams Realty that uploads a bazillion different templates for you, professionally done for you, that you don't have to worry about. You don't have to have a marketing company. You don't have to send anything off to a printer. You don't have to go on Fiverr anymore and find someone who knows what they're doing and using Adobe Acrobat and this Acrobat and that Acrobat and all these different things. It's all built for you right there, okay? Now, and you can see that it automatically put the logo down here in the bottom right. You don't have to worry about it. Now, you may decide that you don't like that logo that has the white background. Remember what I said, Taylor has all of the ones that are black, the white, the black and the red, the one that's transparent, all the different ones. So for me, what I typically do when I'm on my own computer in my room, I just X that one out and then I drag and drop the one that makes better sense for me into that thing, and then I add it right there. It's great. Okay, and so when you're done, you see all the little green check marks are done, and then make sure I've looked at this correctly.
Now, are you wanting to, you're wanting to capture leads off this, right? Are you about to activate this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want the address or the address in there because they can go to Zillow and do that.
I don't care about that.
You don't care about that?
No.
I've noticed that it doubles my leads whenever I don't have the address.
I mean, for me, like, I just like the convenience of it. I mean, I feel like for them to see it, I mean, that would take a really.
That's the wrong address on your design.
Oh, what is it?
It's 5901, not 509.
What is it?
It's 5901.
Oh, okay. Well, then we're not going to do this. Okay. I was going to kill two birds with one stone today. All right. All right. So let's just go with, yeah. Well, see, Andy, they wouldn't have found it on Zillow.
That's very true.
They would have called me anyway.
They're like, what's going on with his address?
All right. Here's the thing. I do want to post this.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. It's done. I'm doing it, and I'm just going to publish the campaign.
Hey, Preston, question.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought I missed it. Did you write in that zero lender fees, or is that?
I wrote that in the headline. So up here under the text, I wrote
once
that.
they get to your KW side, they'll be Keller. What you're talking about, the Keller Mortgage link is there.
The Keller Mortgage link is there. I actually don't personally care that the link is there. I'm just trying to attract people to the idea of it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, publish campaign, and we're done. Now, that was real easy. Who thought that was easy? We have more clarity on that now. We're all good with that. I think that for the most part, it's about as user-friendly as it possibly can be. The biggest thing you have to worry about and be concerned about is the choosing the Facebook form or the actual landing page itself. before we move off of that, and we'll go back to this in just a second as far as the designs aspect is concerned, Facebook is very finicky about the postcard that you use and how much text is on the image. So I could have used the one that you saw, had the wrong address anyway, but I should have mentioned this while I was doing it. You sometimes have to squunch down the letters and all the graphics. If it has 20% or more text on the actual image, Facebook tends to not like that. Rarely you can actually get the ads to go through in that case, but if that's the case, just remember, make a bigger punch with the headline and the writing at the top, and then leave the image as simplified as you possibly can, or at least squunch down the font, okay? Or maybe just have one thing on there. Okay, so now we're done with that. This is where I want to take it a little bit deeper, especially for the folks that do not have listings right now. Okay. What were my examples? Okay, let's go to our websites. Do you have a question, Andy?
No, I'm
Okay.
following.
Okay. I want to show you some different concepts because there's a lot of people that will post very generic ads on Facebook, like all homes for sale in Pensacola. That is not a value proposition. You can go to any website in the planet and get stuff for free. There's 500,000 real estate professionals. So you want to try to be as specific as you can, in my opinion, on all of the ads that are for all of the ads that do not include a specific listing. Okay? So let's just go with, I just want to go back to the main page here. So let's just say that let's just click current location. Oh, well, okay, we can't access my location because we don't have it enabled. So we're just going to zoom in. Okay, notice we are trying to provide you all with a world-class search experience that rivals or is better than Zillow or Trulia, okay? We've done that with not only neighborhood-specific data, all of the walkability factors, the student-to-teacher ratios, school ratings, transit, commute, a million different factors, okay? So let's say for a second that we wanted to do a hot area of town. So let's go with East Hill. East Hill, Pensacola. Now there's two because remember, this is all linked to next door. Okay, so now this is a very specific section of East Hill, but if you click on this bigger one, it'll encompass everything. Okay, now right here in this search bar, this is where you can get really detailed on the searches. Okay, so price is obviously price, nothing to see there. Okay, bedrooms, nothing to see there. For sale. At some point, you'll be able to see, okay, right now I told you that they're working on the active feed. So for me, I'm just going to click on the active, but I do want you to realize that at some point in the future, we are going to be able to see all the coming soons, the foreclosures and the short sales. And so you could run just foreclosure ads. It's not that big of a thing right now in our area. So I would doubt that that's going to be important to you. But in about 2.5 years, I'm sure we're going to be dealing with this again. I hope not, but let's just go with that. For sale.
Preston, is that the real foreclosures? Is that like the pre-foreclosure?
Well, I don't know. So it's not even actually working for us right now. I haven't seen that. Okay. That is the same thing, but I want to bring you right here to the more, because this is where I think when you start to think about this from a 50,000-foot view, you could really get extraordinarily specific on the ads that you're running. Okay. So let's say, for example, that in my case, I only wanted to run I'm just going to choose houses. Let's just be generic for a second. I don't necessarily care about living area. We'll let that go with what it is. I'm going to come back to lot size. I'm going to come back to year built. Parking, that's a feature that you can click it, but it'll come back in the future. Okay. You've got keywords that you can use. And here is what I absolutely love. Price reduced in the last 7 days. You see when I click that, it's now narrowed those properties down to 11 properties. So what if you ran an ad, because we all know that East Hill is like this highly desirable area, right? And everybody's attracted to East Hill. That you ran an ad, East Hill homes reduced in the last 7 days. Sellers motivated. Now, on your website specifically, that's a value proposition. They can click a link. They can see all of the homes in East Hill that have now been reduced in the past 7 days, and they can also see the amount. How targeted could you get if you were running ads for highly desirable areas for prices reduced in the last 7 days? By the way, this is the beauty of this. This, two things. If you go and you buy your own personal, you're going to create your own agent website, right? Mine just says preston.kw.com, but there's a lot of people that go and buy them through GoDaddy, okay, theharmonmurphygroup.com. If I would say that when you do that, please do not check the box that says mask the URL, because it's always going to show at theharmonmurphygroup.com, theharmonmurphygroup.com. You need to have access to the link. Why do you need to have access to the link? Because you have to copy it and you have to put it in your ad on Facebook. The cool thing about this is that this is what we refer to as an active link. So as all of this your ad could run for 15 days, 30 days, 2 days, 3 days. And remember, as the information changes, the information on the page is going to change. Does that make sense? So you don't have to always be concerned. It doesn't matter to you. There might be 11 right now, and there might be 14 by this afternoon, because I've narrowed it down to homes that are for sale, that are actively for sale, and all just homes specifically that have been reduced in the last 7 days. Well, if this afternoon someone changes the price, well, guess what? That's going to add. Now it's going to be 12. So your consumer is always going to have the most updated information. Okay? Now, let's do another one, because I love this stuff.
Have you experimented with the active website and Bitly?
No. Everybody, disclaimer, I am learning this all at the same time that you are learning this. This is as brand new as it is to you. It's as brand new to me, okay? So the only reason I not technically know more is because I'm like so curious about this stuff, and I'm also responsible for helping you, okay? So I have to do this. Now, let's go with Pam's in the room. Pam is, how long have you been in the business? 49 million years? Okay, 35 years. So Pace is obviously, well, I'm not so sure anymore. It used to be a rural area. It's not so much rural anymore. But let's just go with Pace's rural for a second. So let's just say that we want it. Now, remember, I just did a specific neighborhood. Okay, but let's say that I just wanted to do 32571. This is where my mind is going with all this right now. I could choose the zip code. Okay? Now, what if Pam wanted to run an ad in Pace for all of the properties that maybe weren't reduced in the past 7 days, but maybe for all of the property? How many times do you get phone calls? Hey, I'm looking for a house with 2 acres. Okay. Okay. Go up here to more and change the lot size to 2 acres. Okay, so now there are only 6 properties. How amazing of a specific of an ad could you get if you were just running an ad in Pace, Florida for all of the homes in Pace, Florida with more than 2 acres? That is a very specific ad with a humongous value proposition with information that people want to know now. How cool is that? Okay. Now, what if you wanted to do, this is where I really get excited about this stuff. Now, if you type in Perdido Key, okay, it's going to take you over here to this Perdido Coves, and there's not a thing that says Perdido Key. In fact, it's actually 32507. Okay, but here's the thing. What if I don't like that? I don't want to just look for that. Remember, you have access to all the homes on the planet. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Perdido Key is known for high condos. Everybody should be trying to sell condos in Perdido Key because the average price point's like $4.9 million. It's not. It's like $453,000. Okay, but just go with it. I want to draw. So I'm going to draw. Let me undraw that real quick. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. What I just did there. I'm learning new things every day, just like you are. Okay, I'm going to draw this whole little area. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over here on more, I'm going to uncheck the houses. I'm going to just click condos. I'm going to uncheck, drag the acreage back over. I'm going to go right here to price. I'm going to change the price to 700,000. I'm going to let that populate. Now I'm going to run an ad. Oh, there's my listing. I'm going to run an ad for luxury condos on Perdido Key, Florida, and I'm going to run that ad in Atlanta, or I'm going to run that ad in Birmingham, or I'm going to run that ad, okay, and then remember, I'm going to make the interest vacation rentals. What if you did that for Pensacola Beach? For all the people that would love to buy a vacation rental on Pensacola Beach, same concept, right? Your website has so much functionality. This is why I wanted to have this class, because I see everybody just posting a listing after a listing after a listing after a listing. You've got to think bigger than that. How can you expand your mindset around your website where you're driving all of the traffic back to your website and you're thinking specifically about how can I get as detailed as I possibly can? And you can, I mean, last night I was thinking, listen, I don't need to be an agent in Destin, Florida, but how many times you have all these people that want to live in Miramar Beach? You hear that constantly, right? Or you hear about even Alice Beach. You guys know those are like the white ones with the horse out front and this whole big deal, okay? Alice Beach. I don't even want to ever sell a house on Alice Beach. But if I target the most expensive area over there, right? And I run an ad like that in Atlanta, someone might call me about it, or I might generate that. My ISA service might do that, and guess what? I get it, and then I toss it off to somebody over on Alice Beach that wants to sell it. I just got a referral off a $2 million home. I'm just giving you context. You now have access to essentially all of the information that exists.
So can you draw multiple areas, or is it just one area?
I don't think you can draw multiple areas yet.
I was about to say, because you could, this would be faster than an MLS drip campaign and driving traffic to your personal website versus the park.
The beauty of it, really, so you could just do, now I want to be careful because I want to say like Pensacola Beach. Pensacola Beach does not pop up as a city, it pops up as a neighborhood, okay? So this is where you could do, where you could just draw, right? So you could just draw Pensacola Beach. There, same concept there. I only have, remember, I only had the condos checked. Where did it go? I could choose the houses too. So now I've got access to all of the houses and all the condos. So now I could just run an ad for Pensacola Beach properties, all Pensacola Beach properties for sale. Of course, that would be luxury. If I could just uncheck this, right? Reset that, go back over here. But what I could do is, oh, see, this is where it gets real good. I could do all properties on Pensacola Beach just reduced in the past 7 days. All condos, all luxury condos on Pensacola Beach that just reduced in the last 7 days. Super motivated sellers. It's infinite what you can do with this. You just have to think bigger beyond, oh, I'm Preston, I don't have any ads, I can't utilize Facebook. It's not true. It's not true. You got so much access, and on top of that, you've got more data on your site than anywhere. Go ahead.
I have a question. So if you're going to create a Facebook ad for something like that, where you just kind of broad search, you still need the design picture?
Okay, there you go. Okay, so yesterday, right, you saw me when I posted that on Facebook about come to the class, and I did luxury properties in Gulf Breeze. Well, guess what? There's not a template. So what did I do? Okay, I zoomed out right here, and then I did a, I don't know what you have to do on this. Is it like a toolkit or something?
You're talking
I don't
about, is it a Mac?
I use a Mac, so mine is control whatever
It's called
four.
Snip.
Okay, anyway, so there's, for the PC people, you have a snip, and Mac people, you have a little clip. I just clipped it from like what I did. Actually, here's what I did. There, Gulf Breeze proper, right? This is a, think about all the things that are super popular in Pensacola. Gulf Breeze proper is a neighborhood. When I click the neighborhood, it zooms in right there. I did a screenshot of that, and I went to designs, and I put luxury homes, Gulf Breeze proper. Now I can do a whole ad on Gulf Breeze luxury homes for sale that have been reduced in the past 7 days. Or leave out the past 7 days, luxury homes in Gulf Breeze proper.
You can just.
The bigger beauty of that is you could actually, what you could do even further than that is just click explore the neighborhood. I would argue that this is probably not ready yet because the feed is a little different. So if you just wanted to run more generic ads about a particular neighborhood, I would argue that you would probably do that with downtown Pensacola, East Hill, Gulf Breeze proper, Pensacola Beach, Portofino. You could actually zoom into the neighborhood of Portofino, okay? It's going to give you homes for sale, but see all of this stuff is not accurate just yet. Here's the thing about this though, I don't necessarily know that that matters, okay? Remember, I got a call yesterday from someone, I don't even know where he's moving from, up north. They're getting ready to retire. He wants all of this information about different neighborhoods. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to my website. I'm going to copy all of the details about specific neighborhoods. I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to put all these different neighborhoods in my personal opinion about based on what he said, where I think he should leave. And I'm going to copy that link, paste it. I'm going to change the link to say Gulf Breeze proper. Here's where all the places I think you should live, in my opinion. Bloom, 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 bloom. It gives him all the data. He wanted to know about nightlife. He wanted to know about restaurants. He wants to know about stuff. I don't have to do that anymore.
Well, is this an active link?
He's not moving. No, this is an active link.
Okay.
But my point is this is a guy who's not moving for 6, 8, 9, 12 months. It doesn't really matter how accurate this is because he's going to, meaning what I mean is it's not that it's not accurate. This stuff is essentially accurate. The number of homes for sale and the number of pending, all of that you're going to see is going to change. Go ahead, Taylor.
Quick question that came in on Facebook. Do we have permission to use other people's pictures, or do you want to keep it general and then drive people to the site?
What do you mean other people's pictures?
I don't know the context. I just asked for about the use of these pictures. I'm assuming it was for the.
Well, when we go back to the, are you talking about listing photos?
Yeah.
No, listing photos you need to get permission about. But we wouldn't be losing listing photos. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you don't have a listing, I'm giving you multiple other ways to run ads when you don't have listings. If you do have a listing, well, then you have permission. If you're going to use or advertise someone else's property, it's just professional courtesy to get their permission to do that. Okay? So my point is going back to this, even on the neighborhoods, if you're going to run an ad in East or Gulf Breeze proper or around Gulf Breeze, you might just want to say, whatever, keep up to date on Gulf Breeze proper stats. Just go with that.
Can they browse those homes that are for sale? Are there's live little links?
Everything that we're doing today, guys, every single thing is live, 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 live. Nothing is static.
But can you click that 155? It says 155 homes for sale. Can you click it?
No, you can't click that. But you can. But when they go to your thing, they're going to be taken to the search bar.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is all on the Keller Williams Gulf Coast website.
No, this is mine right here, preston.kw.com. Let me stress that again. You have got to set up, I have said this for months, you have got to set up your site. It's got more access and more information than any other place out there. You can't, first of all, you can't do this on other sites. The second thing is if you want to access the information, you need to make sure, because every time, eventually someone's going to click and log in or click save or ask you information, whatever that may be, and then that's going to pour right back into your personal website. Okay? So we've just now begun this, guys. So my point is that I just came up with these ideas yesterday. There's no telling like what you could really come up with when you really start to think strategically about the business that you want to build. If you're a person who's not satisfied right now with your average price point at $150 when the average around the area is more like $215, how do you strategically think about your personal website, where you could run ads, how you could run ads, could you do luxury, could you just point out particular neighborhoods, could you attract people into your database in areas where the price point is much higher so that you can work smarter and not harder? Go ahead, Bo.
With this command Facebook ads platform, does it also let you select Instagram as an option?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was trying last night to adjust the budget between the two, and it was grayed out. So you can't, basically right now, depending on the amount, it will just split it 50-50.
Okay. Can
Okay.
you see whether it's coming in from Instagram or from Facebook, or does it give you that segmentation?
Let's look. Okay, when you click these little, well, that one's on the way. It'll just so like this one I'm running in both. This literally just started today. Okay, so it's already got 353 impressions, no clicks yet. But Wheeler Way, I only did on Facebook, I think. So the answer to that is it looks like this is pulled together, so I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay.
Well, none right now because I just started it.
Right.
Okay.
So if you click that, go down to the ad, and click the Preston Murphy. Scroll down. There's no information. Okay, it's just showing you the ad.
It's just giving you the
Okay.
preview of it. Okay.
Was there a way you can't go below 15 miles in your targeting like when you're doing bucket?
Yeah, you can't go
do,
below
like,
15.
1 mile.
Yeah, that's a fair housing
Stay
thing.
with that.
Okay.
It used to be able to do
that.
I think it's now 10 miles on Facebook too.
Yeah.
I think it related to all fair housing stuff.
Okay.
So if you're frustrated by any of the interest or how many miles, Keller Williams does not control that. It's all fair housing. Call your government official. All right. What's our time? Okay. Is everybody feeling better about this now? You have a higher level view of this. You have a better understanding of that. Okay.
So I got a question. And you take your active website there. If we copy that real quick and then go to your regular Facebook.
Well, I don't have my regular Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is the point about this. When you post an active link, actually, if you post any link right now, it's not going to automatically pull in the picture. That's when the designs become awesome. Okay, let me say this two different ways. If you're running a social ad, an actual ad with money, Facebook does not like more than 20% font on the image itself. So you have to make a bigger bang with your buck on the actual headline and the description. Now, if you just want to have a social post on your personal page or your personal business page, you can copy this link, post it to Facebook, and then upload the picture. Does that make
So
sense?
it won't upload a preview like
It's not going to upload a preview.
That's what I was wondering. If I could
But here's the other thing about this. I do not, a couple things about this. I don't like this big, long URL. That's when you can use bit.ly or tiny URL or whichever the ones that are out there. You can go to bit.ly and then you can shorten this link. So not only can you have it, click here with the small little bitty link, you can also test how many clicks you're getting, but you can also make it more aesthetically appealing too. It will not populate with a preview. You don't believe me?
I posted from my old personal website, right?
Yep.
On a certain page of it, it has a really long, thing like that. And then you post that in Facebook, and then it creates like a little,
It does at the bottom.
like a link,
Mhm.
but it's in a square
Mhm.
little kind of digital looking
Yeah.
thing, and then you can delete all that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, there's multiple ways that you can do that. I personally, it's kind of like you have to tell people what to do, because you have to remember everybody. Not everybody is as techy as you are. So when you're, meaning that just because you know that box you can click it doesn't necessarily mean that customers or people out there know. So I always think it's important to have the link, but make it short, let it populate, and then just say click here with a little button. It's another excuse to use an emoji, sometimes like the little finger or the down or the up or the. Okay, question marks. Okay.
Can we go back to discussing the design page where you can design a social media post about a neighborhood, but
Sure.
it has that specific thing in it, but I don't understand how to edit it.
Okay. So designs.
Mhm.
This is cool too, okay, because you can use this in multiple different ways. You can use this on social media. You can use this postcards. You can use this on door hangers if you're an open house person. You can do this any way you want to. So again, we're just going to click this little plus. We're going to do social, and we're going to click next. Okay, this is under what we call neighborhood snaps. Okay, neighborhood snaps right here. So again, Facebook, Instagram, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, Twitter, you have multiple different options here. Let's go to Facebook. So maybe you don't want to do a social ad around this, an ad, because this is going to have far too much font on the screen for Facebook to like, okay? But maybe you just want to post about a neighborhood that you're potentially farming. And on your business page or on your personal page. So let's just go with this one. Okay, so what we see here is this is just a template, so to speak. All right. So right here on the KWLS, you click right here, and you're going to click this thing that says snapshots. So this is just a template. Picture yourself in Barton Hill. So let's just do picture yourself. Let's just go with, since we were on Gulf Breeze proper, picture yourself in Gulf Breeze proper. All right, it's a little long, so what we're going to do is we're going to click and we're going to just drag it over, and bam, there you go. Right here, I'm going to click this. I'm going to go snapshots. I'm going to click Gulf. It's on neighborhood name, Gulf Breeze proper. There it is. Okay. And then it gives me the different options to match it. Okay, so this one is the one that obviously goes in that little bucket. I'm going to replace the image, and bam. Now you have updated information with neighborhood details for Gulf Breeze proper right there. I have not used this yet because the information is not necessarily that accurate just yet. So I would not, if it were me, I would wait until they get all of the pendings and all that stuff, the kinks worked out with the feeds. Okay, but in literally 3 seconds, just replace this one. One under images. Use this image. Take that away. Oh wait. Oh wait. Always have this undo button. Get rid of that. Oh, jeez. Delete. I'm gonna drag this down here.
You know you can just hit the replace button on that too.
Yeah, but I think I've uploaded mine incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
So it has like this big blank thing. So, I mean, there you go, guys. Now you can download that as a JPEG. You can post that on your page.
So, just out of curiosity, do you think that because the information is not 100% correct, that it's not effective? As effective?
No, I think that's a mindset issue. That's just my personal, like, everything has to be perfect.
I have the same mindset, but
Here's the
everybody
deal,
tells
like,
me that I
the
shouldn't
world's
do that.
not gonna care, like, they have no idea whether it's 95 listings or not. That's not even the important thing. The important thing is that you're trying to generate a conversation.
Right.
Okay? Now, they also have door hangers for this. So you could design a door hanger with the neighborhood specific information with your contact stuff that says open house this weekend on 2, have them printed, and just do that. You could actually forget the neighborhood specific stuff, just create generic generic door hangers with your contact information on them, and every time you go somewhere or door knock a neighborhood, hang them.
For this particular example of that ad that you put on your Facebook page, you're not doing that through commands, so you're not like creating like the advertising through there, so then it'll ask you, do you want to boost the post? Do you ever do it through there, or is there a way to?
Since command has come out, I have not done that at all. I do all this stuff through command now.
How do you do this in command then? If you're just posting this image on your Facebook page.
Oh, that's just the scheduled post. That's right over here. So remember, there's a difference between, let's go back. There's a difference between a social post ad and just a social post. 2 different things. Okay.
Cost effective wise, wouldn't it be more cost effective to do the ad through command than boost a social post?
Oh yes, because one thing you guys should know while this is pulling up This has been mentioned several times every community call when he talked about it. The reason why you are able to get such low cost per clicks through command when you run the ads is because Facebook sees, well, because it's a platform. We are a platform. So instead of you going to Facebook as Preston Murphy Realtor and posting an ad on Facebook, Facebook sees me as one individual. I'm one account, I'm one business, I'm one entity. When we all post now through command, Facebook sees us as 165,000 United States associates. So you have massive amounts of big data that then give them the leverage and the ability to more specifically place your ads. That is the power of a platform. That's the power of Netflix. That's the power of Amazon. That's the power of Apple. That's the power of Google. They are pooling all of the data as opposed to Summer Chasen, individual realtor in Pensacola, Florida. Summer Chasen, she could go post the same ad on Facebook versus when she does in command. It's not going to be the same cost per click. It's going to be significantly higher. Maybe not significantly higher, maybe $2.50 as opposed to $1. But every dollar counts. Okay? That's the beauty of the platform. Okay? Go back real quick. So let me just go back over here to campaigns. So you see here, this is a paid ad and this is just a social post. Social post is just a social post. Just no different than you go into your Facebook directly. And honestly, well, you can see I haven't really used this. I haven't used it at all. I have everything linked, but I just haven't used it because I'm on my Facebook all day long anyway for work and going back and forth with agents and different situations and what have you. So I haven't used this. I can't give you much insight about that, but the beauty is if you want to schedule post to your business page, you can certainly do that through Facebook right now, but you can also do that through command, and it just makes it easier because, again, it's one less thing to have to log into.
Is there a way to do a video ad from command?
You can.
Okay.
So where it has ad image, there's a place that says video too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he was talking about with the Booster Post is the Booster Post allows you to target your Facebook friends and friends of friends versus a social post is just a generic post that you have to boost to get it to do that. In here, it allows you to target your database and that, but it's not your database of Facebook where it's two separate things.
Yeah, your database on
Command.
your database on command and how you have them tagged and who you have in there is going to be important because it's going to, I don't know what the word would be, cross-reference, I guess is the word, their email address and their phone number. So you might have, some person that you met at an open house and you required them to sign in with their name, their phone number, their email address, and then you could, and so because that particular email address is also the same email address that they use to log in with Facebook, it wouldn't necessarily matter that you were not their friend because the command is going to cross-reference that email address with that individual and then put that ad in front of them. So that would be another benefit, so to speak. Okay, so after all that said, we're running out of time here. Here's the thing, guys. The biggest challenge we have in real estate is that we collectively, me included, are not rock stars when it comes to what?
Consistency.
Follow up. We're not rock stars. You know you're not a rock star. Don't raise your hand because you're not. Okay. So my point about this is that you can generate hundreds of leads. And yet, if you are not following up effectively, you are wasting your money. Everything that I told you today, if you do not intend to follow up at a high level, do not waste your money. Don't even do this. You would get a much bigger return on your investment if you didn't do anything at all. Okay, probably tripping over someone in the parking lot with as good as the market is. Okay, so that said, go ahead, Bo.
I was gonna, to that point, where are these things ending up for you?
Okay, so right here.
Follow-up boss, are they going to?
Right here.
Monster, whatever.
So now, you could spend literally, if command was not built for anything else except for the contacts for $25 a month, you could spend hours and days and weeks understanding and coming up with systems and models and being more strategic about how you just what happens inside of your contacts. Okay, so let me just give you an example. So this one is, let me customize my columns. Well, those are all fine. Just go here, last contacted. Okay. Glenda Cooks. Okay, you see here, Glenda Cooks. I do not know Glenda Cooks. And don't be trying to steal her information. Okay? You'll see here. Okay, that anybody that's has an L next to their name is identified as a lead. Okay, a lead. More specifically, I did not do this. When she clicked on the form that was created on the ad, she got brought into command, and it tells me exactly what she called off of, or clicked on. Lead received from 22913 Breckenridge. I didn't do that. Command told me that. Okay? So, and because you'll also see, here's her phone number, here is her email address. I can't get into the advanced stuff today, but for me, I have a program called Zapier set up. So anytime Linda pours into my account, Command knows that and then automatically sends that to my ISA. Okay, it comes in here, it gets sent over to Conversion Monster. Conversion Monster calls her 17 times, texts her 17 times, emails her, tries to reach out to her 17 times within the first 10 days and up to 54 times in the first 12 months. Okay, I don't do that. She's just coming in here. Go ahead, Anna.
Did it also auto-populate her Facebook page since it was a Facebook feed?
No, doesn't know that. Maybe that might be coming. Maybe that's an idea. Put that in ideas.kdb.com. Okay. So that said, I know what she's done. Okay. Now, cool thing about this is you have the opportunity to put someone on a smart plane. Now, this one was an open house. I think I was just testing this. Okay. Let me just delete this really quick. Obviously, you are going to want to reach out immediately. Okay. The leads, if you have Kelly on your phone, are going to show up as a notification on your phone. Okay, so this today, let's see here, last night. I delete these constantly because I don't necessarily care, but for all intents and purposes, they show up on your Kelly. Make sure that you have automatic updates set for at least Kelly so that it's constantly being worked on. I do want to be clear. This version of Kelly that you see today is, let me say this two ways. Kelly, the app, what you see is being phased out because your consumer mobile app is coming shortly, and then there is a command mobile that's coming shortly where you can essentially do a lot of the same features on your phone. Okay? This version of Kelly will be going away soon because the command mobile version is coming. When I say Kelly, I don't mean the app. Kelly is the artificial intelligence that runs and connects all of the systems together. It's kind of like this pseudo idea. I don't know. I'm not that technical. I don't know. I'm not a software engineer, so I can't explain that to you. But when I say Kelly, we refer to Kelly as the artificial intelligence. This is just the app version of Kelly, if that makes sense.
It's like Alexa.
It's kind of confusing in my own mind.
Alexa, whatever that thing is.
Okay? So you will see the leads flow into your Kelly, and you will be notified so long as you have push notifications set up on your phone. As soon as someone clicks and it flows in, I get a lead right here. Lead form notification, lead form notification, lead form notification. I can click on it and do the whole bit. You can do that. But you can also see it here. So right now, obviously we're going to say that I'm going to call her immediately. Called her, no response. Okay, or whatever it is. You pick up the phone, you call this person, they tell you, hey, you know what, I just accidentally clicked on something, don't ever call me back again. Fool. Just kidding. Okay. Or they say, hey, listen, we are excited, we're going to be buying a house. Great. You're just typing in all the notes, because remember, all of that's going to show up right here on your timeline. You have a running record of everything that happened. So for me, let's just say I sent her a call, called Glenda, said she's beginning her search, looking for middle of 2021, continue to reach out, whatever, you get the point, whatever notes you have about this person. I called her. Now, I have a running log of everything that's ever happened to her. Now, obviously, whatever you do from this point forward is up to you, okay? Now, you do have the, the options to add various smart plans. So, I only have this 8x8 campaign set up right now. I don't think I have it enabled just yet. Okay, I don't have it enabled. But once those get enabled, you can add the smart plan to this particular contact. Okay, and the moment that you add someone to the smart plan, every morning when you wake up, your command is going to tell you what to do. Okay, I clicked task. It's another applet. Today, I have to add Ryan to this neighborhood. Okay, so I think I've already done that. If I click on it, it's going to tell me what to do. So I'm going to click Ryan right now. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that he has a neighborhood set up. He does. It reminded me to do that, and I'm going to click task, and I'm going to click yes, and I completed the task. Done. I'm done for the day with him. I don't have to think about it. Go ahead.
So these emails that we get from you about our neighborhood,
I did not do those manually.
How are you doing that?
Okay, so let's go to Jim. Jim. Okay, you see here, I met with him. There you go. All right, he's an agent in Hawaii. He wants to move down, 10 years. He's getting his license. He'll probably be with us next week. All right, so I'm going to go to Smart. Okay, so I have his address. He gave me his address. It automatically put him on the Springfield neighborhood. I did not do that. Kelly added him to Springfield because Kelly knows that he lives right there. Or I told command, and then Kelly said he lives in Springfield. So right here under Smart Plans, I have added him. I'm just going to click Add to Smart Plan, and I would have checked Biweekly Neighborhood Nurture. Okay? Remember from the MREA models, you're going to have the highest rate of return in terms of repeat and referral business if you are interacting with someone at least 33 times a year. There's some indication that could be 30, it could be 42. That's just a round number. 33 is the number of times that you need to intend to stay top of mind with someone. Okay, so right here, I don't necessarily know Jim all that well yet, but I met him once. But I went ahead and put him on the bi-weekly neighborhood nurtures. So for all of you that you get them from me, I'm just reminding you to do this. Every 2 weeks, so essentially there's 52 weeks a year. That's what? 26 times. So so of the 33 touches that I need to do with every single person, the system is automatically taking care of 26 of those for me, providing that customer with relevant information about the neighborhood in which they live. Some of us do newsletters for years. Our biggest challenge in this industry is how do we stay top of mind with someone when we don't always have time to call them and do all these different things. Bertha does a brilliant newsletter. If you want to know more about that, get with Bertha. But it takes a lot of time, right? You have to curate the data. You have to talk about the events that are coming up. You have to talk about whatever it is that's happening in the community. It's a lot of work to do that. And sometimes, if the information is not valuable enough to someone, what happens? What do you do when you get an email from someone that you really don't need? You go delete. You get rid of it. But in our world, what do we know about buyers? They care about homes that exist in the neighborhoods in which they want to live. That's absolutely relevant information to them. What do we know about sellers? They care about being nosy about the houses that are listed for sale in their neighborhood and seeing the pictures and all this different stuff. So by setting someone up, your database on the biweekly neighborhood nurtures, you are automatically staying in contact with them at a minimum of 26 times a year. With the other key thing about that, with relevant information that they care about, not maybe necessarily the recipe that you sent them. Okay? That's not to be facetious. That's just to say the reality is that we all get those kinds of emails and we click delete, 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 delete. And remember, it's all personally branded back to them. At any point in time, you can see what the website looks like for their neighborhood. Okay? There it is. There's their neighborhood. There's all the active stuff. Okay? They can click on all the neighborhoods in their community. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Go back right here. Okay, and so give it a few minutes, and then command is going to update and say that if I was Jim, I clicked on the link, and then I clicked on that particular property. Okay? The cool part about that is, okay, is over here in your contacts. Now for me, I've got the filters on. Well, I had the filters on. So right now I've got all contacts. I could sort this. You can drag and drop these guys. You can customize this any way you want to. I can sort this by last updated. Okay? And these are all the people that I have contacted. But let's just say, listen, I need to sort the other way. Okay, well, I haven't talked to Dave King since March 28, 2019. I don't even know who Dave King is. I'm a terrible realtor. Okay? But here's the point, folks. The point is that this is the most granular level of your business. You have got to make contact with people. So use the contacts strategically. I hope that's what I want you to understand today. Today is not about me telling you do this, do this, do this, do this from a technical standpoint. I want you to be thinking, how do you use the technology if you know that the most dollar productive thing that you can do from a lead generation and prospecting standpoint is touch your database. Then if I was not a team leader and all the other stuff I have to do it every day, if I was in your position all day, every day, I'd be going to Dave. Don't know who Dave is, okay, but I'm going to call Dave, and when I'm done with that, I'm going to write a little task, add an activity, called, text, emailed, quick note, and I'm going to move on. As soon as I do that, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go next contact, and I'm going to go to this person. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Now, you can also add people to a smart plan. So let's just say your past clients, right? You have them on a biweekly neighborhood nurture. You can set the date that you want it to start, or you can start it now. But you can also put someone on the quarterly call plan. So I would not recommend that you go through your database today and check all 1,200 people and say, start quarterly call plan, because guess what? The same 3 months from now on whatever day that is, you're gonna have 1,200 calls to make that day. Don't do that, okay? Maybe take this 10, start tomorrow. The next 10, start the next day. So every single day, the first thing that you do in your lead generation time, when you wake up that day, is you go to your database, you sort it, get very familiar with all these filter buttons, begin to tag people in a way that makes sense to you, update, or last contacted rather. That's an even better one. Last contacted, sort it the other way, and then start there. Well, look, Joe, he never talked to me. Yeah, real problem.
Actually stagger it now, like when you're
You
adding
can.
people.
You can stagger people to the smart plans. Okay, so if you have a whole database of 100, 200, or 12,000, again, you don't want to start the smart plans on the same day, because your task list, you're going to be, and I've already made that mistake because that was the feature that they came out afterwards. I had 900 things to do on one day, and I had a million past dues. I'm like, okay, well, that's not good. I've started that.
So can you edit it after the fact if you did that on accident?
I don't know. I haven't tested that far yet. I doubt it.
As I say, they're not very forgiving on that stuff.
Yeah.
Can't add it.
But hey, here's the thing. The beauty of that is someone came up with that idea, right? Because a software engineer thought, oh, we can just do this brilliant thing. And then an agent, a stakeholder said, that's stupid. We need X, Y, and Z. We needed to do this. And so, again, the more things that you encounter that you would like to see differently, put it on ideas.kw.com. They want to hear from you because they don't sell real estate every day. They think it's a brilliant idea until you get to the functionality of it. It's like, I can't call 1,200 people today. But, okay, you can also create a new task, okay? So if you know that, okay, Jim called you today and said, hey, Preston, I'm not really interested. I thought about what you said. I don't think we're going to list the house next week. Give me about 2 months, and let's recircle back around to this, okay? Task name, call Jim. Put more details than that, okay? I'm going to call him. Anytime someone tells you to call me in 2 months, that means call them in 2 weeks, okay? Because they will, just as sure as you're sitting here, call somebody else next week and change their mind. So put it on 2/6. Call Jim about listing his home. Touch base. If you want to add a hyperlink about anything that was specific to that client, okay? Associate contact, and then you're going to pick Jim. I think there's a Jim. Jim Pollard. I'm going to add that, add him to the thing, and
What's the associate contact? Is that like a realtor on your team, or is that?
I don't know. I think that's a new thing too.
Assigned
Assigned
contact?
contact,
Yeah, I was like, I didn't-
or it should say associate contacts. Okay, but it should say associates contacts. That's just me being weird. Create task list. So then guess what? Now I've just created a task that Command is going to remind me to do on February 6th, which is to touch base with Jim. The beauty of that, guys, is because what do we do as realtors? We're driving down the road. We create a sticky note. We lose the sticky note. We write it on a folder. We don't know where we put it. We think we forgot to do this. We ask Siri, hey, Siri, remind me to do this. So, again, you got to start exploring these things, and I want to remind you, please, if I didn't impress anything on you today, besides just the how-tos, we have to put more humanity into the technology, and we've got to inject more technology into the human part of this business. Start thinking strategically about these things. If it says last contacted, okay, what does that mean? Okay, that means really that you didn't, there's a lot of people that you should be following up with. As it relates to tasks, what should you be doing? You could probably go ahead and set your reminder for January 3rd of next year to send out an email to my entire database about homestead exemptions, to all the, I mean, just, it's bigger than just the how-tos. It's bigger than that. You have more access to the information than you have ever had, and your websites are packed and chock full of just incredible value. Now you've just got to learn to think strategically about that and utilize that to your advantage, okay? Before we go, we got 4 minutes. This is about y'all. So you know that we're doing this once a month. We're going deep, diving on all awesome things from this day forward, at least once a month. Now, there's plenty of how-tos and tons of videos that come out every week. I would encourage you to stay on top of those. But in terms of us getting together like this, we're going to be sure that we're doing this once a month, because this is a land grab, folks. A land grab. You have more access to information. You can take massive, massive market share, and you can build a huge business. If you didn't do anything except for spend $100 a month on Facebook lead generation ads, I don't want you to fret about this. You have to remember that people that are clicking on Facebook leads are at the beginning phase of the search, okay? It's a rare scenario that you are going to call someone that clicks on a Facebook lead and they're going to be ready to buy a house today. You have got to learn to build the pipeline. So if you start today and you start to spend the money, don't be upset in 2 weeks when you haven't had a sale or a contact off of that. It's going to take time to build that pipeline, and you have to have the consistency around it. But let's just go with that. Let's say that the conversion rate is 1 out of every 100. Okay, so one person wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate out of the $100 that you spent this month, and you got 100 leads off of that. You might have spent $100, so that's a month, so that's $1,200 a year. The average commission rate in our area is anywhere between, what, $5,500 to $6,500. That's a great way to build the business. Now, that said, that should not be your only way to build the business. I would say if you need to make money today, starting today, because you're going to have to build the pipeline for that if you start today. It could be 2, 3, 4 months before you even see a client that's ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. I want you to add this and subsidize this to your couple of one things, whether that's neighborhood nurtures, open houses for sale by owners, philanthropic efforts, causes, the Rotary Club, your children's hobbies, whatever that may be. This is a subsidy. It shouldn't be your maybe, let me take that back. Maybe it shouldn't be your only thing right now until you can build the pipeline for it. And then over time, as you begin to have a bigger return on investment, maybe you can add money to it. So then you can have a $300 or $400 budget a month. But at all points in time, you have to make sure that you're following up appropriately. If you send one text, it ain't going to work. If you make one call, it's not going to work. You probably have to do 10 of those, if not more. So before you get crazy on the number of ad spend, also make sure that you have a fantastic system for follow-up. Use the smart plans, use the tags, use the ad activity. Look at it from a 50,000 foot view first, and then get more granular on how you're going to do the follow-up. Okay? I hope that was valuable today.
It was.
All right.
Very good.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do.
coming over to go preach?
Yeah. Before you guys go, this is, Nick passed this out earlier in the week, like Facebook lead scripts. So when it says text on 8x8 or any kind of plan that you set up, these are just some things that he uses, just as examples.
I was just gonna ask, do you know if this is really becoming physical before this really got started, that was a big thing.
It is, in fact, actually, I've seen Jason use that in the video, so just JCK or MACK or anything. That's all I wanted to get Facebook pixel.
There is a Google.
I don't know much about any of those things.
It's already asking you to incorporate it.
There's a place for it, I just didn't know anything about it. I've never used it, but yes, it is there. Like, that's good.
I was
You bet.
learning more, I'm like, oh no, thanks so much.
Thanks so much. More things to add to my list. Yeah.
Sean discovered tasks, and they're for me,
Right.
but he thinks so, and so he's like,